At Comics and Comics, we have a segment where we like to give an opinion about something, and if you've ever read any fanboy post on any message board anywhere, you understand why we call this segment. But let's face it, geeks get the short end of the stick. Regardless of the number of articles titled Geek Chic, actual bona fide geeks are ignored and shortchanged in society with great regularity. There's a lot of geek posers out there, and they piss off the actual geek who thinks he deserves more. And he does. But let's face it, genuine, legitimate geek street cred only entitles you to so much. Let me be clear, geeks are entitled to a lot. First and foremost, geeks are entitled to complain, and complain in a comprehensive, unabridged format. Nitpicky rants that go on and on are completely on the table. Geeks are black belts at describing exactly why something sucked, what was sacrilege, what dumb changes were made to source material, and what was a sellout, specifically and intelligently. There is no geek movie review of Green Lantern that should be viewed as overkill. Geeks are entitled to bitch about reboots, stupid casting decisions, and over-edited fight scenes. They are entitled to outrage over Power Girl no longer having her own book. Geeks are entitled to call hypocrisy when people make fun of them for living in their parents' basements when the recession has caused plenty of non-geeks to do the same. Geeks are entitled to explain the DC multiverse at parties. Geeks are entitled to explain the Marvel zombieverse in the next breath. Geeks are entitled to make Excel spreadsheets ranking the hotness of every female member of the JLI. Geeks are entitled to boast about video game scores and whine about retcons. Geeks are entitled to hijack message board threads. Geeks are entitled to out-trivia all of us, either in person or on the internet. Being a geek allows you to compare things that suck to things that were actually good. In fact, that's what geeks are built for. The problem I have with geeks comes into play whenever geeks utter the phrase, "What they should have done is..." Invariably, what will follow is a nearly incomprehensible list of story alternatives, most of which are clearly worse than the thing they're criticizing. Geeks' area of expertise is diagnosing the problem. Being a geek, in and of itself, does not qualify you to open up the creative dilithium crystal chamber and fix the warp core of artistic suckiness. The certainty with which geeks present solutions to existing artistic problems is one of our biggest downfalls. By and large, professional non-geek reviewers stay away from this approach, while geek critics foolishly embrace it. Artists might not be perfect. In fact, many of them may suck. But geeks, in the words of the Wizard of Oz, they've got something you haven't got. What is that? They have a track record. People are in love with their own creative ideas, and they are therefore often blind to problems inherent in them. Because armchair geeks haven't sent their own creative ideas off into the world, they haven't learned this yet. Making any kind of art results in wildly unexpected feedback. That feedback, unexpectedly good or unexpectedly bad, creates an understanding of just how difficult the creative process is and how different it is to please others than it is to please yourself. There was a magazine about Godzilla called G-Fan, and in it there was a section in which fans could send in their own synopsis for a Godzilla movie. Now, most monster movies may not have the geometric story structure of, say, Memento, but they do have some structure, and they have some character development. These were nothing more than incredibly enthusiastic ramblings. When Spider-Man was in development forever in the 90s, it seemed like every fanboy was writing their own spec script of it, with the intent of submitting it blindly and having studio execs fall in love with their genius. Did anyone ever read any of these? I did, and I can tell you how much they royally sucked. Geeks are not allowed to say that George Lucas forgot the lessons he learned from Joseph Campbell's Hero with a Thousand Faces when their only exposure to the book is from an interview George Lucas gave to Starlog in 1979. I mean, go on and on about Jar Jar all you want, but to pitch a 2-hour fight between Boba Fett and Darth Maul doesn't show me that you understand anything about the Aristotelian structure that you say George Lucas violated. Do plenty of geeks go on to become important media artists? Of course. Should you? I don't know. Put something out there and see what the feedback is. I'm sure you know plenty of geeks who are capable of being honest with you. Because, let's face it, that's what we do best.